this is Cyndy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the Hermes famous Calvi card holders. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and give my video a thumbs up. Switch on the little bell buttons. You won't miss on any of my new videos on fashion, bags and shoes and jewelry and all the girly topics. There are two versions. So this is the Calvi original and this is the Calvi Duo because it got an extra pocket. So today in my video I'm going to show you the difference and which one is to choose for and the pros and cons between the two of them. So stay tuned and let's start the comparison. The Calvi card holder is being one of the iconic Hermes card holders for many years in the house. It's almost for every Hermes lover. You always starting your Hermes journey with this like a Calvi card holder. This is the original Calvi card holder, and this is one is called the Verso because it's the outer and the inner lining having different two colors. But sometimes they don't have this two color combination because this is one is made to order, and so you can just asking them to do two colors but with the same price. And so the Calvi is named after one of those French towns called Calvi, and it's been one of those very simplistic styles. You can see this is very symmetrical and with a snap closure and these curved lines. It's almost like a paper art. So they just fold it together and with this one piece of leather and then having these two snap closures and hold them together and then just snap. So you can see that the edges, and it's not ideal to keep coins in this because the coins would normally slip out if you're not careful, but this is mainly just for cards. And sometimes you can put a £5 note across it, but for larger notes you have to fold them away into half, a third, and then store them in one side of the slots. I think this is in the color of Bleu de France. Blue is one of my favorite colors, and so I got this many years ago when I started my Hermes journey. And also I have a tube one, but you can see this one, it's just the inner lining and the outside is just in one color. And the leather for both of these original Calvis, they are Epsom leather. So because Epsom leather is the best choice for this because it's really hard wearing and you can see there's some softness to it. Both of them. It's not rigid. When they do the Epsom bags, they put reinforcement behind the leather, but when they make these into little hard holders, it feels quite soft in the hand, and it's very pretty. And I used to use this to alternate them everyday use. And you can see the corners, there's no scarves, there is no obvious wear and tear. These two are, certainly this one, almost 10 years old. But the only bit is the edge here. Looks a little bit, but the leather is still intact and still in really pristine condition. So the features for the Calvi is having this snap closure pocket, so you can keep coins in there, maybe some notes in there, and then there's a card slot behind the back pocket. On the opposite side is exactly the same design as the original Calvi, so you can see, so it just added an extra pocket there. And it can hold probably 10 cards in this side and then snap close. So you can see the sides are exactly the same length, same width, and then but the thickness, this one on the website they don't have a thickness for it, but Calvi Duo is 1.3 centimeters having a depth. So you can see because this is far thicker than this one, so it's almost doubled. So if you press it down, and from my experience point of view, since I've got and this one, you can see the grain is much finer. This is called Madame calf skin, And if I put these two together, you can see that the patterns on the leather are slightly different. The darker blue is in Epsom leather. This one is in the Madame calf skin. This is relatively new. I haven't really seen any bags in this leather, but however, they do make them into smaller leather goods, and this is quite fine and it's quite durable. You can see this has a very similar feeling to the Epsom, but just the grain is finer. And I've used this one since I've got it, except when I went traveling. So you can see, because this is a paler color, the corners are a little bit darkened where it's being folded, because I use this almost every day now. That partly is because this extra pocket, because in the UK, if you're going out and if you park your car, or sometimes, and the old car parks, they still ask you to put coins in there. And so just for convenience, sometimes leave a tip for people, but it's just nice to have some coins or some cash carrying them. So with that extra slot, and then I can carry some coins still. And also the card slots are, there's not much of a difference for the other ones, so it's just that one added feature that I really love. So therefore I've been using this one quite a lot. If you want to just begin your collection, and then I highly recommend the Calvi original, and because it's just nice and thin, if you use smaller handbags, and this just slots in very easily, and it doesn't take much of a room. And also the cards will be secure, snapped in the two pockets. And from a price point of view, when I paid for these, I think it was £270. I think the prices now are higher than when I paid for this. I only paid £270 for these, and for the Epsom leather ones now it's £335, so it's £65 more expensive than a few years ago. And also because the Epsom leather having a different price as if you go for the goat skin, the Mysore, or the Madame calf skin. Also, they have both of them in Evercolor skin, so each different skin type, they have different prices. Just don't double check. But from my point of view, the Epsom is the best because it's very durable and is anti-scratch. It's one of those leathers that I feel is very good for hard wearing, everyday use, for card holders, because it stays in your bag, get locked around, and you take them out, and for every time when you pay, sometimes the keys are in there, sometimes the nails get on them, but you can see there's no scratches or major issues with them. So they're very durable material for the Epsom. And this one, just like a bit finer, called the Madame calf skin, and this one is quite hard wearing as well, but you can see there's a little dent there, but it's not very obvious. And for this one, it's slightly than the Epsom one. For the Epsom, if the Duo design is $460, but because this one is in the Madame calf skin, this one is costing $480. I paid the same price last year. I got this in the spring before I went traveling, so it's like $480, so the price hasn't really gone up or changed that much. Let's talk about the pros and cons. The pros for the Calvi original is just basically small, light, and a very pretty looking little thing, and doesn't take too much of space if you use a smaller bag. And then for the con is that you can't really put any coins in there, and so there is just something that you only put cards or some notes in there. And for the pros for these ones is because it has this extra pocket, and so you can put coins in there, some valuables in there, or maybe sometimes you can put your jewellery if you want to take them off when you're out about. You can use that as a little safety pocket. And then for the cards are the same. Or if you say the cons, it would be a little bit bulkier than the Calvi original, so you can see that so it's more thick, would take up a little bit more room than the Calvi original. And other than that, holds its shape and it holds its color. Very anti-scratching if you go for the Epsom leather or the Madame calf skin. So very happy with my Calvi card holder collection. And I'm not sure whether I would get another one. If I would get another one, I would go for the Calvi Duo with the extra pocket. And so that would be my verdict. And because I already got 2 of these original Calvi card holders, so maybe I'll add another colourful one into my collection, but it's not really, I would get it anytime soon. But if I definitely go for one, I would go for the Duo because of this extra pocket. It's very useful and hold a lot more things. And so I hope the video is useful today. And if you want to get a Calvi card holder, if you can't decide whether you get the original or the Duo, and so I hope my video is offering some insight. So good luck if you want to get one. Thank you so much for your support towards my channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and give my video a thumbs up and switch on the little bell button so you won't miss on any of my new videos on fashion, bags and shoes and jewelry and all the girly topics. So you can also forward my video to your friends and who also enjoy this sort of content. And thank you so much for your continued support and see you in my next video. Bye!